Hello there, sword friends. This is going to be a vlog sword blog about ethics and swords and how they intertwine, and I'm hoping that you will give me your thoughts and opinions. I really like this part. This is one, for me personally, it's not necessarily a subjective or it's a very personal question to me because it's about ethics and sword reviews and how they intertwine. And more specifically, is it ethical for reviewers to ask for samples of products? Is that an ethical thing? I'm a reviewer of swords. Is it ethical for me personally to ask vendors, manufacturers, large and small, for samples to review? Now, it's not to say I haven't done that already. I have. And it's not to say I haven't been accepted and rejected. I have. But the question is it ethical, and what do you think about it? Now, if I go to the side of the negatives that can happen from that, there's the obvious bias. One, I ask for something, I don't get it, and then I inherently say something negative about the company because I feel rejected or slighted. There's also the possibility that they send me free stuff, and I'm so delighted with that that I say nice things about them because I got free stuff. So there's a bias component. Then there's the possibility that there is an issue just simply ethically. There are some smaller vendors that live project to project and that simply don't have the financial means to give review samples, and asking for them inherently puts them on the spot to do something that frankly is tough and that they can't necessarily afford. Because if they send me a review sample, even if I send the review sample back, they've invested time, energy, effort, shipping, and all of that only to get a product back that may be damaged, and they can't really afford to do it, and it's unethical to simply even ask for it. There's also the possibility of fraudulent things where people are saying, hey, I want to get this review sample and have no intention of doing a review, or they're doing it under the pretext that you send me free stuff, manufacturer, and, you know, or if you don't, I'm going to say nasty things about you on the internet. Now, I haven't personally ever done that, and I haven't personally ever seen it, but some of the folks that know a little bit more about the subject than I do have said that that type of thing does happen. And so is it best for just no one to ask, or is it ethical for me to ask? So I thought I'd like your thoughts on it. I'll share my personal opinion. I've shared the negative side of it. There's a positive side as well, and maybe I've missed some of the negative sides or negative things that can happen with it. I only noted bias, inherent issues with people that can't afford to send out review samples, and kind of strong-arming or almost blackmail or something like that might happen as a result. But the positives are that people that might not otherwise be able to afford or might not otherwise invest in purchasing a product have the opportunity to give you thoughts, and there is more content, more conversation, more ability to see different opinions, different interpretations on certain products. And I guess that's the benefit. Now, are you as a consumer able to see through what reviewers say and formulate your own opinion? Do you look at some of the swords and reviews that I've made and say, hey, Matt, you think one thing, but frankly, I think a completely different thing? The YouTube comment section would indicate that is probably the case, but I don't necessarily know. Either way, I think it's more information for a consumer to view, even if I was inherently biased and I didn't disclose that I got stuff for free, that I was paid to do an interview or review, and you know that I just in general was in love with the company and I was invested in them and I was an owner or something, and I didn't disclose any of this information. You would still get a chance to see a product, and I think at least with swords, maybe not with everything, but there's a lot of visual things or things that you can see in the operation and function of a sword that are very telling. And if I say, hey, this is the best thing, you can still probably see that it's not, especially if you've looked at lots and lots of different things. Still, there could be some people roped in. There's some negative things that happen with that, but I like to think that having more access to photos and video well, in general, is a good thing. But maybe not. The point is that I think having more access to information is a positive thing, and also I just in general get to review more products. I become better as a reviewer, as I'm sure other reviewers that get exposure to products they might not otherwise have had, because they get a chance to be exposed to lots of different things. They get a chance to feel and talk to a lot of different vendors and a lot of different people. They get a lot of feedback on YouTube comments from people that might not otherwise be attracted to their channel because they review a lot of different products. I think there's a positive, and the positive is mainly more information is out there. Now, those are the opposing sides of things, and now I think it's fair if I share my personal opinion. Obviously, I have one because I'm a Yahoo that does reviews on the internet. So my personal thoughts are this, and that is I never really thought it hurt to ask. Now, don't confuse that with I don't think there are any such things as stupid questions. There are stupid questions, and people do judge you negatively for asking them. So there are stupid things you can ask, and yeah, it's bad. For example, if you say, hey, can I not work right now because I want to go and pick my butt? I don't know. That would be an example of a stupid question that you should probably not ask your employer, right? They will likely look at you and think less of you for asking that question. It is a question. It is likely a stupid question, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, it seems to me like there are stupid questions, but in this case, I don't think it ever hurts to really ask a vendor, hey, vendor, here's my YouTube channel. I would like to do a review on your products. Would you be interested in sending me a review sample? Now, that is obviously conditional on the fact, one, you intend on doing a review on the product, which in each case I personally have. I can't speak for every reviewer, but I have. And two, that regardless of the answer, yes or no, you can remain objective. You won't be biased. And that three, you disclose the information that happens as a result of that. One, you get something for free. And then you say to the review audience, I got this for free. Two, if you are biased, you feel rejected, you feel that it affects your objectivity in the matter, that you say, hey, I'm a little biased in that I don't particularly like this manufacturer. You should know that before you listen to what I have to say. I think that for the most part, I do a good job of those things. There are other legal things that you need to state simply when you're doing a review, especially if it's paid. That's never really been my problem, but I think in general, if you have honest intentions and you're transparent with your audience, that it's not necessarily a bad thing to ask. I've never thought it hurt, and I've asked a lot of people to give me review samples, and frankly, many of them, most of them have said no. A lot of times subscribers have reached out to me and said, hey, will you review this sort or that sort? And every now and again, I'll throw that vendor a message that says, hey, here's my YouTube channel. I would like to do a review on your product. A subscriber has asked me my opinion. I don't have one because I've never seen it. Would you be willing to send me a sample? And most of the time they say no, and I move on. Some of the time I will then get a product later, or that might happen anyway. But there are products that people have asked me to review. I later buy them. People reject them. For example, I asked Hanway, hey, I love the Hanway bamboo mat. Would you send me a bamboo mat that I can destroy to really push it to the limit? They said no. But I'm pretty sure you've still seen me say, I love the Hanway bamboo mat. It's my favorite sword. I think it's great. I've showed pictures of my personal project. I admit that it's certainly not our thing for everyone, but I certainly haven't had anything really terribly negative to say about it. My opinion hasn't been influenced because Hanway told me, no, we're not going to send you any review samples. Or at least CS Iberia, the distributor here in North America. And I don't look down or have any ill feelings because they declined my request to get free stuff. Now, the other thing I think I should note on that is getting free stuff. Now, a review, I'm not looking for validation or a gold star, but a review is a time-consuming endeavor to do. These kind of more informal conversations aren't really that hard to do. But what you might be able to tell from some of the blooper reels I put on things is that there's a little bit of effort that even goes into this type of interaction. If I make a longer video, it's just me. Video editing takes time. The equipment costs money. For every minute that you see of a review, chances are 5 minutes to an hour of my time went into that 1 minute. There's at least that seems to be the ratio I'm pulling. So it takes me sometimes weeks or longer to compile all the stuff I need. In fact, some of the reviews I've done, you see me start it in winter and finish in summer, or vice versa. And they can be very time-consuming things to compile and do. It's not, nothing is the point. If you get a review sample and you produce a review, it's not inherently I get it and then do nothing with it. There is some sort of outcome, regardless of how crappy that might be. Anyway, those are, I guess, my thoughts in that I never really thought it hurt to ask, but now, based on some of the conversations that I've had with other people online, I'm really curious if it is. I mean, I don't want to be a bag of dicks, but damn it. Basically, I don't want to be an unethical person. If I am requesting things that from manufacturers, and it makes you, the viewer, think that I'm inherently biased and that whatever I have to say afterward is invalid, and that the video that I show might be cast in such a light that it's manipulated in some way to make you want to buy because I'm biased, then I'm wasting my time. If you think that I'm being a jerk to companies simply by asking, and that it's simply unethical to try and get a review sample, then that is another thing. If any time I get a review sample, you skip the review and think it's the point I might make is null and void, or think less of me as a reviewer simply because I engage in that type of activity and my opinion is moot as a result, then yeah, that's probably not the best thing for me to do, since that kind of directly contradicts my my intended purpose for making these videos. But if you think it's not necessarily a bad thing, doesn't inherently make me biased, I guess I'd like to know that too, because that lets me know I'm kind of on the right track. I think I'm capable of doing that, but maybe not. I'd also, I guess, like to know your thoughts as it relates to other reviewers. There are plenty of other folks on the interwebs that do reviews. Plenty of them get stuff for free. Do you think less of those reviewers because they get that stuff for free? Are you inherently skeptical of YouTubers that or other online reviewers that you read because they have gotten products for free? I'm curious to know your opinions, and if you would graciously share them with me, I would appreciate it. Anyway, that is all I have for you. I hope you will engage in the conversation and give me a hand. And as always, cheers and thanks for watching. Jeez, mutter. You'd think I drank all of this stuff, but I haven't yet. Boobs. No. I want to talk about objectification, not objectification. Being objective. That's what I'm going for. God, fuck. Okay. Why is nothing ever quick for me? I can't format a quick question. No, that's not where I'll start. Ethical in the terms of... I don't know why I always forget to mute things. It seems like I have to start 75 times before I figure stuff out. That. Jesus, I am not formatting this. That's obviously not an ethical... I gotta get a recording light.
She'll never catch up with me. It's a race between me and her. Whoever wins gets a lifetime supply of candy.
Did you win? Too sleepy to eat candy. Sweet. I think I lost my point. Try this again.